Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully well. Doing well, NASDAQ SE. Hopefully you're doing well yourself. So today might be an interesting day. Is Thursday. Thursdays do tend to be pretty decent trading days, it seems like. So to kick things off with the market, let me go back to this chart. Yep, so I thought. So the market's not really, it's just kind of hanging out. I anticipated a green day today, which we are green on the day. And the reason being is we filled a gap here in the daily chart here. Let me delete some of these drawings. So S&P has filled its gap down here, right? This was the gap in the chart that was kind of needed to be filled. We just filled that. We're starting off on a green day. The bounce doesn't look extremely strong, but I still anticipated we would have a green day based on the gap fill, maybe just kind of the hangout day. But not much going on. Yep. Boeing is going to be on watch for a potential short play today. Not a big one, but I think there's going to be a little bit of some panic on Boeing today after the news about the 737 MAX. So anyways, you see this big jump down. There was news that the 737 MAX airplane we're still kind of like failing some, still struggling during some of the pilots' trainings. Found that there's still issues with the software. So anyways, stock gaps down like 15 points, squeezes all the way back up, fills its gap, and now it's kind of trending down. So today, probably going to keep Boeing on watch for an early morning kind of panic short with the news. And then if it approaches 351, which is this red level line here, or a little bit lower towards 348, I'll consider a long. So really looking to play this both ways today, both short and long. So early morning, fading, panic short out of the gates, hopefully. And then as that happens, if it does, right, and gets hammered pretty hard into 351s, 348s, then I'll look for a bounce, because this bounce here was so significant that if it comes down again, it will most likely bounce at least a little bit there. And the way to look at it would be if the price action on Boeing does come all the way down to this level and then it does bounce, should probably anticipate, because this is 340, call it 350 to 370. So if it crashes from about here all the way down, we should see it bounce up to about 350, probably right around there, 357. So if we do see it bounce off of 350, 340s, we could probably anticipate it's going to bounce up back to about 358, right in that area with a fluent, nice move. So we'll see. We got some negative news on Boeing. We'll see if it shorts out in the beginning of the day. If not, doesn't really matter. There's a lot less people watching today, probably because the multi-million-dollar company YouTube still can't figure out how to get their notification things going. Not saying I could, because I don't work in that field, but I'm just saying if I was a multi-million-dollar company, I'd probably make sure that was working. Just saying. So again, Boeing might be okay today. Next one on the list is Roku. Let's see, Roku. So Roku had its bounce yesterday. We traded the bounce. It didn't hold any of its gains, so it's hard to really want. It's hard for it to get continuation, I would say. I still want to be initially long bias on Roku before being short bias. And the reason being is this was a big downfall from 108 all the way down to 90. That was 18 points. I do think Roku has a little bit more to the downside we can see. But first I want to be long bias before being short bias right now. So probably going to be long bias Roku today with targets of these highs from yesterday, with entries as low as 91.62 and even 90.59. If it were to come all the way down to 90.50, it'd be hard for me to want to target all the way to 95. But these are going to be bounce levels down here at 90.59, 91.50. Those are all, considerable bounce areas. If we kind of just start holding here and ripping out of the gates, I would definitely target the 95 area or a little bit before. But anyways, yeah, we'll see. Because, if, Roku filled its gap down to the downside as well, right here, filled its gap, anticipated the bounce day. So we traded that. But today or yesterday closed as, with a really long wick, small body, it's like almost an inverted hammer candle there. So it's hard to want to be long, but I don't really want to be short. It's questionable. It's a questionable day for Roku. I could definitely see it dropping out, but I could also see it squeezing. So I'm kind of on the fence playing this one by ear to see on how it develops. Something else I just kind of came to mind that I wasn't thinking of was Zoom. Yeah, no, Zoom still hasn't filled that gap either. And so you can watch Zoom for a bounce, but I really wanted to see Zoom close its gap here in this chart all the way down towards $80, but I just don't feel like that's going to happen right now. So Zoom might be worthy of a trade here because, right, we have down, curl, bounce, curl. So this might actually be a long day on Zoom. I'm kind of following this, waiting for that. Yeah, I could see it. Excuse me, sorry. A lot going on. ABBV, no, I didn't end up trading ABBV. I kind of kept an eye on it. You see, it kind of grinded up. I thought it might kind of grind up. But I just didn't like the way it was moving earlier in the day, so I just kind of left it alone and let it do its thing. Exactly, Trader Chris. I know. Seriously. Roku bounce because it's fallen too much. Yeah, BYND. When it comes to BYND, I mean, I don't really want to be long biased. I would like to say that this is the topping action, but this isn't trading, It's definitely a bubble, but it's not trading like your typical bubble, and that's probably because it's it's a relatively good company, kind of groundbreaking with their burgers and the whole new movement towards healthier eating. So still just being patient, just watching this one for now. For me, I'm not taking any positions on BYND. Nice, Phil. Appreciate it. So, first time, no, Seal, maybe. Let's see if it bounced back. Probably not. I would just leave Seal alone. With the way it's channeling down, it's probably not going to be a good trader on the day. ATOS started with the spike, kind of came down. Probably not going to be a great trader on the day. Could be, but most likely not. I'll still watch it on a side screen, but probably not going to be a decent trader. And then you asked, what was the other one? Oh, XSPA was a stock that went up yesterday. Yeah, this one's worth watching today as well because it had such a kind of crazy wild day yesterday. So pretty much everything after this point was all just short squeezes. So the stock really ran to 410, and then the rest of the way up was just a bunch of people getting squeezed out. They were short buys. So we already know that our people are shorting it right now or selling into this move. So it's not, it could be okay. I don't really like the formation today. When a stock goes up like this, gaps down, drops down the next day, usually isn't the best. But I think it's still worth watching. You could have a lot of early morning people trying to short this, and it's possible it does a red to green move and squeezes up short sellers. So I would say XSPA is worth watching. Let's see where it closed yesterday. Closed all the way right there. That's too far away to me even. Yeah, it's decent. I wouldn't be too crazy about it right now. When you say where do you find all the shortcuts for the markets, is there a global index? I mean, I don't really. I mean, that's a really vague question when you say shortcuts to the markets because you can trade penny stocks, you could trade large cap, you could trade ETF, you could do options or commodities. Or I mean, there is no shortcut to the market. Global index, I mean, not really. I mean, you can look at things like the Dow or the S&P 500 and the CAI. You can look at the Indian markets. You can look at their indexes. I mean, I wouldn't really say there's a shortcut. Teva, currently long Teva with a few options, down like $50. I don't know if it popped up any more than I already did today, but currently long on it. Yeah, we'll see. I think Teva could have a decent day. I don't think it's gonna rip or roar, but if it does, that'll be great because I'm long on it. But it did do well. I mean, it had this long leg up, consolidated, held, grinded back up yesterday, had a slight gap up over 9 today, still holding above the closing price of yesterday. So Teva's still green on the day. It's in a formation where I think it could have a decently good green day. Yeah, I know Trump was on his way to Japan. We'll see what comes of that. Trade deal, probably not going to happen. Why would that happen? President of China probably just going to kick the can until the next election to see if Trump wins. If Trump doesn't win, then he can deal with somebody new. And if Trump does win, well, then shit's going to hit the fan then. Well, yeah, no, there's no delay on the candles. Your stock shouldn't be delayed. Regarding your question about the MACD candles, how it would perform the same as it would on it would perform the same on a volatile stock as it would on a non-volatile stock. Its job is just to track momentum. So just play around with it. You don't even have to trade with it today. You could always just not use it and then use the on-demand trading. That's what I like to use when I like testing new stuff. So I would say use the on-demand trading feature with those MACD candles and start to get the hang of it. You'll kind of come to find it can actually work really well when you practice with it enough. I usually keep one on like a side screen, and if I'm ever kind of questioning something, I'll pull it up and look at it. But yeah. Yep. Oh, AMZ, what am I doing? Well, it's doing exactly what we said it would do. I mean, no, not really. I mean, I'm trying to do a 1 year, 3 week, 1 year day. Yeah, I don't trade Amazon very often, but it's doing what we said it should do. Reach this high pullback. I mean, I wouldn't even really necessarily be trading it, I don't think. Well, that's not true. You can see the movement, right? Aggressive spike up, rolling over. Amazon follows the market very closely. So if the market has a green day today, expect Amazon to probably have a green day. And if the market has a red day, Amazon will most likely have a red day based on where it's at. It's shy of this high. I mean, I really couldn't tell you exact direction. I can tell you what to pay attention for. Like, yeah, there's really nothing good here. It's just in consolidational phases. Really, it's not about which direction it's going to go. It's about how you would play it after it chooses direction. Like, if it's going to come down, this right here could be a nice bounce level to take an entry off of. If it really dumps out, this here would be a nice level to take an entry off about 1880. That's what it is about to me because it's in a consolidational area right now, personally. So I probably wouldn't even mess with Amazon right now. I usually trade about 1 hour. I usually stop trading about 10:30, 11. 11 is usually the latest, but usually about 10:30 I trade for 1 hour and then usually just then I stop. AMD, really wouldn't be crazy about AMD today with where it's at. Probably not going to get into anything very significant out of AMD. ACB has a bullish divergence on the yearly chart. That's starting to kind of go green right now. Was debating doing a swing trade on ACB, but never took it. Just, it's kind of hanging, holding off on that. It doesn't move very much anyway, so it's not like you're going to miss out on a whole bunch anyways. Let's see. All right. 850. So we'll take a look at a few of these. Raphael Seal, don't trade that, or not. Well, trade whatever you want, but I will not trade that. It doesn't really look very good based on its formation right now. Shop. You know what? I'm glad someone mentioned Shop. I wasn't particularly paying attention to this. I should have bought this dip bounce. I already knew it, and I didn't do it yesterday. Yeah. Yeah, I could see the long day here on Shop for sure. So, I mean, it's at a low point, kind of held. I think it's worth watching for a small bounce, but nothing too much more than that. 4-hour chart's decent. Doji candle curling up here. Might get a nice decent pop long on it today. So yeah, I think a decent long play on Shop might be worth it. Apple's fighting obviously some resistance right here. Probably be long bias Apple today. That's what I would say most likely. Wouldn't really want to be short there. Top, down, back up, aggressive, down, holding. Yeah, it'd probably be long bias Apple today. Yep. And someone said 3M, an update on 3M. Hey, she finally started bouncing some. I mean, 3M kind of picked a really odd place to bounce is what it seems. I probably wouldn't. I don't think I'd be long bias. I'd probably be short bias. 3M probably at about 185, or sorry, 180s, 184s, 182 in that zone. No. Strategy on a 1-minute time frame won't work on a daily chart because you're trading daily candles versus 1-minute candles. Very, very different. Yeah. Planet Fitness. Let's take a look. Pulling back. I would watch Planet Fitness for a long trade today. Austin, what's good? Not much, buddy. Not much. Any Hooser, I mean, there's really not much. Really not too much. See what Boeing's doing. See if that's hanging out. It's coming back down. Looks like it's starting to come back down. Yep. I'm starting to fade a little bit. Let's go back over, check Roku. Roku hanging out, has yet to fill its gap. Not much. Seal. Nope. It is a smoothie. That's a morning smoothie, baby. Sprint. I never trade Sprint. Moves way too slow. JD, Facebook, Nike. Nope. Swaroop. Never. Well, you can do whatever you want. I don't, and many don't trade or invest into a stock before earnings. Well, let me rephrase that. Most people don't trade stocks just before earnings. It's just extremely high risk because you never know how it's going to pan out. Even with a good earnings report, you can still see the stock go down because the good earnings report could have been priced into the stock already. So the price at which the stock is at when the report is released could be the value of the company, and then it sells off because it's already at a good sell price. So no, don't typically do that. I basically whenever I win money, I pull it out almost instantly. Yeah. So like if I won $1,000 a day, I'll pull $1,000 and it'll be in my account tomorrow. If I won $1,000 the next day, I'll pull $1,000. It'll be in my account tomorrow. Yep. Basically use the market like an ATM. Every once in a while, like if I win like 1,500, I'll pull 500, leave 1,000 in the account. I usually kind of do it based on that. Sometimes that way I kind of grow the account sometimes, and then I just kind of take money as well. And then when it gets to a nice level, I'll just take a bunch out and then let it sit. Yeah, so, and again, right, so like I don't use, again, my trading account is just for short-term income, right? That's generally what most people want to use it for, short-term income, right? So again, you make short-term income from trading, and then I take that money and you invest it long-term. So you take the short-term income from trading and then you invest it long-term. Though I'm not really doing that right now. I'm doing a little bit, but not really. My foot is not on the investing gas pedal. It's actually kind of off of it because of how high we are. I'd rather just ride out the wave we're already on rather than take my surfboard and get on top of the wave as it's about to crash on you. So, but generally that's what I would do. I'll take money out and then I'll put that money right back into like a long-term account. Account usually hovers right about 30 to 40,000. Once it gets closer to 40,000, I usually pull money back out, and then it goes right back down to about 30 grand. Yeah, that's the thing. That there's no like unless you're doing things that ask for more money, then there's really no need to have additional money sitting in your trading account. It's pointless. So why have extra money in there that you're not frequently using? Because like there's really no need. I mean, at least at this point, maybe at some point in my future career, but at this point there's no need to have $100,000 in my trading account, right? Like of my own cash, because I'm not going to use it, right? Like, I mean, I will, but not all the time. So what's the point of having another $30,000 just sits there and does nothing? Might as well put that elsewhere. Not in real estate right now, but will be in real estate in the future. Would like prices to subside a little bit, get a little bit cheaper, but probably will be in real estate. I've already been looking at a couple houses that are located in Detroit that are fairly cheap. You could get someone in there renting for not expensive, but a decent amount of money. About a 25, well, let's be more realistic, a $25,000 house over the course of 20, 30 years will at least take another $25,000 in repairs. So $50,000 investment for about $300,000 to $400,000 return over the course of 30, 40 years isn't bad. That's what I'm looking at right now. Let's see. Yeah, Ali, pretty common because, if you go with 1,000 shares, right? If you're going with 1,000 shares, which I do quite often, going with 1,000 shares, it'll pop up 70 cents. That's $700. I'll take off 700 shares, leave 300 on, pops up another 40 cents, and I'll take those off, right? So, because in trading, it for the most part, it's very, well, I don't want to say very easy, but, many times it's not too hard or too difficult to understand when something's going to change direction. As long as you understand when something's going to change direction and get in at a low price, it'll usually pop a decent amount for you to make money, and then you can take those shares off, and then you can let shares ride, right? There's no worse feeling than getting in a trade, having it pop up, you leave your full share count on, you look for more, and then it rolls over, and then it dumps on you, and then instead of having a win, now you have a loss, right? So that's the way I go. It's like a profit-taking risk management sort of strategy, right? So with that being said, guys, got to head back. It's 9 o'clock. I appreciate you guys for tuning in as always, and I will see you guys on the next stream and or the next video. Everybody take care, and if you haven't done so already, make sure to go and watch the most recent upload of mine about the MACD candles or the momentum candles, and then go through the whole process of getting them because you guys might like them. That's the last video I uploaded. All right, guys, take care.